What is up, mad beautiful world? Hope you're doing good. I haven't given you guys advice for a very long time, so I figured it'd be time to touch upon how to create likable characters. Now, briefly getting it out there, character building is my hustle, given that I consider myself, as a storyteller, more than an artist. It's an everyday itch. My lifeblood. The fuel that fires the lyric of my characters, or more commonly known to me, my babies! Alright, before I pop out my most awkward poetry, we better move on. I'm gonna split this character inventing into two parts, because creating a character and drawing one are both completely different things. And I don't want my constant rambling to get you confused. So I'm gonna start off with the character building process because that's just how I flow. I find it incredibly hard to come up with designs without laying out the script firsthand. Number 1. Observation. Viewer discretion is advised. Binge watching is an absolute goldmine when it comes to inspiration. It gets your brain thinking and it brings out this analytical side of you that you've probably never seen before. Or, a character nutter! That's not how it's supposed to come out. I meant character enthusiast. Okay. Think about it. What's missing in this character which I can add to mine? I could add this trait and maybe tweak it a bit to make it my own. Sometimes your life helps build multiple characters. They can be made from people you're very close with. Sometimes they're invented through someone you've seen on the street. But most of all, a character can have a piece of you. A lot of my characters always have a part of my soul. Again with the poetic rap. So take watch of what inspires you through your surroundings. But don't be a creepy stalker. Yeah, you. You know who you are. Who? What? Who? Where are we? Stay tuned for more. Meanwhile, have this annoying commercial break. Number 2. Experiment. Keep brain dumping your ideas. That's right! Dump your shit on a sheet of paper until it gets so shitty and do it all over again. Take a dump. See what fits. More like scoop out what fits. I am so sorry. Especially simple things like, what's your character's name? What's the age of your character? What's their favorite food? What genre do they listen to? It's so easy to miss out on these things. I mean, they may seem small and cliche, but they're very important. It's completely infinite. This is your child. Go crazy with them. Not too crazy. Hey, do I get too crazy? Ma, didn't I tell you to never ask me those kind of questions? Kids, they grow up too fast. Just when you think you've done everything a parent can do, you left out the most brilliant rule. Screw your kids in your own twisted little ways. Ha ha ha! No joke! 3. Be unoriginal. The process of making something original takes up so much of my energy than doing the actual work, which I beat myself up for back then. But there's millions and millions of characters that have already been made, or infinite stories already being told. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just tell the story differently. Give it a few tweaks and make it your own. You don't want to blend in too much, but you can't be a complete original either. I mean, because there's no such thing to begin with. Now, as tempting as it is to go further into this topic, I want that for a separate video, so let's get on with it. Number 4. Not in the cards. Adding twists and turns here and there spice up your content. Taking a detour from the blueprint leads you to endless possibilities. Never be afraid to poke on assumptions. Take advantage of pedestrian characters. Molding your characters completely off course from what people expect them to be is a surefire ticket to get them to that aha moment. In your face! There's a danger in automatic writing that is just profoundly tempting, but it's important to make a choice to build your craft, not just out of habit and lose your sense on the making process. Number 5. Beautiful message. Let's do that Mary Sue archetype. Now in my defense, I may have silky, smooth porcelain skin, big, beautiful brown eyes, luscious lips. They are not as important as to how much I would like to lend my hand to someone in need of straightening up their flaws. It would be a great addition to my immense set of skills, and don't you worry, I'm sure I'll pick up fast. Clearly, we are more drawn to characters who are completely flawed and are very relatable. However, creating a Mary Sue character is just as challenging. Why do you think most stories have them? Contradict to everyone's opinion on a Mary Sue, I think that this archetype is more interestingly flawed, being that the character has to be perfect. It can't get more insane than that. When you are willing to push through the boundaries, that's when the process becomes therapeutic. Creating villains is my favorite scheme. I love the play on their terrible backstory and the psychotic breakdown that goes along with it. It's crazy how manically relatable their character is and how you somehow sympathize for them despite their dark cause. The crazies, they make me feel sane. I told myself there would be no singing in this video. Excuse me. There's something so pure and beautiful about wrongdoings. Our whole entire history depended on it. It breeds a great legacy. It's also one of my favorite authors, Stephen King's methods of writing such disturbingly awesome thriller. When he was a kid and dreamed of terrible scenarios, he would write them on a piece of paper so that it wouldn't condone to reality. Keep in mind that there is no plain wrong or plain right. It's more of a tango. Number 6. Compelling backstory. Speaking of tango, it's true that people love specifics and analyzing characters, whether through writing, comics, or the big screen. Everyone loves a great mix of tragedy. They want to see a character's past struggles or to rip away the facade and see what lies underneath. So ask yourself, what's your child's history all about? Did they grow up in a stable home? Do they live in riches or are they poor? Just like tip number 2, experiment and go wild. I think it's safe to say that most storytellers, if not all, have one thing in common, and that is being a masochist when it comes to inflicting pain on their characters' build-up, very much like how we do to ourselves. It's a coping mechanism. I can't give you one emotion, I gotta give you 2! And we're down to 2. Talk to the voices in your head. Ugh, I wanna die. Kill me, please. Aw, come on, you should smile more often. The world is filled with rainbows and cupcakes. Yo, Mom, when will you introduce us more often? Yes, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're all crazy in our own little ways. And we are that complex jazz. Listen to those voices in your head. Ma! My nose is bleeding! Please stop! Picturing how they'd sound like really helps you build their personality. And sometimes you try impersonating them. Pay attention to the dialogue and bluntly confront those dialogues. Jot down the conversations, argue back with the conflicts until the dialogue writes itself. Sometimes it can be as simple as incorporating a conversation you hear from everyday life. And last but not least, change is inevitable. A character, much like any other human being, should always evolve and change. It's a part of our nature. A character that remains the same becomes boring, and the story built around has to move forward. And in order to do that, you have to let them make mistakes, get conflicted on what's right and wrong, unleash parts of them they have yet to see. So I laid out 8 tips for you. However, I would like to make an important point that I am nowhere near expert on this subject. I do not follow specific rules and mostly just pick up myself as I go. I simply hope that this would somehow spike an inspiration to someone. But here's the great catch before I close in on this. There's only one tip I encourage you to take with through your journey, and that is you don't have to do the thing you love professionally. With that said, you can scrape off the rest or pick the ones that resonates with you. Better yet, find your own ways that suits your needs. Thank you once again for bearing with my nonsense, and I hope that this video has helped you in any way. Please feel free to leave a comment below. I strongly encourage criticism. Hit me with your best shot. Signing off, yours truly, Mad Hattie. Embrace your beautiful madness. Bye.